34-year-old Edwin Lara lived in Bend, Oregon in 2016. He worked as a safety officer at Central Oregon Community College. Between July 24th and July 26th, 2016, Lara went on a violent crime spree that left multiple victims and their families in its wake. Early on the morning of July 24th, Lara brutally took the life of 23-year-old Bend resident Kaylee Sawyer. After the crime on July 25th, 2016, Lara fled to Salem, Oregon, where he carjacked and kidnapped a young woman at gunpoint. Lara told his victim he was a police officer and showed her news reports about what he had done to Kaylee Sawyer. He then forced her to travel with him to California. Along the way, Lara decided to stop at a hotel in Cottage Grove, Oregon. Inside the hotel room, Lara handcuffed his victim, forced her to take sleeping pills, and made a series of physical advances. A short while later, after receiving a phone call and growing concerned that law enforcement was nearing his location, Lara left the hotel with his victim and continued traveling toward California. At some point during the drive, Lara sought to change vehicles to avoid detection and stopped at 2 rest areas looking for another vehicle to steal. In the early morning hours on July 26, 2016, Lara stopped at a motel in Yreka, California, where he spotted an elderly man near his vehicle. Lara parked, grabbed his victim by the hand, and approached the man. With his gun visible, Lara told the man that he needed his vehicle. When the man would not comply, Lara shot him in the abdomen. At this point, Lara's victim pleaded with him to let her go, but he again grabbed her hand and forced her to flee with him by foot to a nearby gas station. At the gas station, Lara found his next victims, 2 young men and their elderly grandmother sitting inside a vehicle. After threatening to shoot them, Lara entered their vehicle with his Oregon victim and forced them to drive off. During the drive, Lara confessed to his victims that he had an urge to take more lives. Lara eventually dropped his 3 California victims on the side of the road, again threatened to hurt them, and continued driving southbound with his Oregon victim. Soon after, California law enforcement caught up with Lara and arrested him. What followed was his interrogation.
Right over there, Edwin.
Okay.
You know, wherever you want. Just tell them where you want to be set.
That's fine.
I'll sit right here. Let me know what you're hitting.
Okay, thank you. Hello, sir.
Hi,
My name is Sergeant Beckwith.
I'm Mac.
wait, I shouldn't introduce myself because you guys know me.
We know a little bit, right? So a couple things. We got some housekeeping items to talk about.
Okay.
Before we start talking about things, those are going to be your Miranda rights and your right to counselor.
Okay.
And then I wanted to talk to you, just to let you know where I'm coming from, because it sounds like you've done a lot of good things, even to this point. And so we're not really concerned about the NBA at this point. It's going to be about, finding her. Okay. So, but before we do that, do you have any questions for me on the onset before I advise you of some things? Because I'm going to advise you of your Miranda rights and your consular rights.
Okay.
Right, before we start talking about things at all. But as far as questions you have before we get into that, I'm a all my cards on the table kind of guy. Okay, I'm not going to come in here and try to be all tricky or whatever. Detective McLaughlin's the same way. Okay.
Well, all I gotta say is that I want to go home.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do everything possible to go home.
Yes, sir. And home meaning Oregon.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Because
Home, right?
yeah, we're working on that as well. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's something we're working on. Let's see here. Mac, while I'm pulling up this language,
Yes.
can you advise?
Sure. So, Edwin, at this point in time, I do want to let you know that the room is being video recorded. It's also being audio recorded. Just for the sake of being official, today's date is the 26th of July, 2016. I have about 12 hours. I'm Detective James McLaughlin. Present with me is Detective Sergeant Eric Beckwith with the Redmond Police Department. Edwin Lara, Enoch, Laura, is that right? Okay. So I want to let you know I'm recording the conversation so that you're aware of that, okay? Is there any questions about this conversation being recorded at all?
No.
Okay. Just so you know, initially,
you back up just a little bit.
Yeah. We're going to ask you some questions about the MVA, that stands for the motor vehicle accident, all that stuff, okay? Before we do so, I'm going to advise you of at least your Miranda rights before he gets into the consulate information section. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to speak to an attorney and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, one will be appointed before any questioning if you wish, okay? Very important. Also, we're here to talk to you because we know that we've spent the last 16 hours talking to Isabel, finding out stuff about you with your family and those kinds of things. I know you got a heart that's probably pretty heavy and you want to tell us some stuff about the vehicle accident, and that's why we're here, okay? So it's important that you hear what I just said to you. I want to make sure that you understand those rights that I just read to you.
I do.
Okay, sir.
I also have to read you, these are your consular rights, okay? So I'm going to read this directly verbatim. It says, as a non-U.S. citizen who's being arrested or detained, you may request that we notify your country's consular officers here in the United States of your situation. You may also communicate with your consular officers. A consular officer may be able to help you obtain legal representation and may contact your family and visit you in detention, among other things. If you want us to notify your consular's office, you can request this notification now or any time in the future. Do you want us to notify the consular's office at this time?
No.
Okay. All right, so here's the thing I just want to get to, the nitty-gritty. We have not been able to find Kaylee's body. Can you please help me find her body immediately before we start talking about anything else? The reason why I'm asking you that is I've done this a bunch of times.
I want to tell you where the body is.
Yeah.
I do. But I want to get home first.
Okay. So here's what I know about this. Hear me out, sir. We can't change what happened, the three of us in this room. And people will care more about what happens right now than what happened before. So we know that you've been talking to some people, et cetera, right? And because we have different jurisdictions, I can assure you that right now the DA's office is working on allowing us to take you back to Oregon, okay? But they're still working on that, okay? So in the meantime, we need to consider some things, okay? If this information gets to other people that you were like, hell yeah, I'm gonna tell you, but only until I get what I want, they might try to think of this about something different than what it is, right? And so what I've determined is, and we've looked at this a bunch of times, is I don't think you're a bad guy, right? I think that things have spun completely out of control, sir. Sir, am I right? Okay. But that being said, you know from your training and your education that we have a massive load of resources right now dedicated to one thing, and that's to serve the victim's family, okay? And they need that, and they need that right now. And so I need you to remember that it doesn't matter so much about what happened, it's what you do now.
Yeah. And you know this, man.
Matt
Matt?
Wants to do a map.
So before, can I say the story what happened first?
Yeah, as you're drawing, please, or whatever you'd like to do. Sir, let's do a map first. You want us to get you out of that stuff?
Highway from, yeah,
Okay, but you ask if we can get him out of this stuff so we can drive.
highway from Redmond to Salem, that's 120, right?
I think it's 126.
126.
Yeah, we'll get you out of those things. Yeah.
We're working.
All right.
Checking the box.
So we're gonna get somebody to get you out of those, man. I mean, So that's
So
Highway
you know,
126.
126 highway,
Mm-hmm.
that's going towards Salem.
Correct.
Do you know that the Chutes River?
Shoots River.
That's-
Okay, are we
River.
closer to Redmond?
Closer to Redmond?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so about, I'm thinking maybe not even 10 miles. Just keep going.
Okay.
There's a mailbox right here. It reads 18700. It's right across it.
It's gonna be on the south side of the road. So if
On
this is
the-
north, like the,
Yeah, that's north. It's gonna be on the south side.
okay. And this is gonna be east towards Redmond, correct? And this is gonna be west towards Sisters.
Oh, you're okay with him to come?
Are you left or right-handed?
I'm right handed.
Come here.
Yeah.
This is a map he's driven.
Yeah.
This is the Deschutes River, Highway 126 from Redmond towards Sisters.
Yeah.
There's a mailbox with this number on
Yeah.
it. He said it's directly across from this mailbox on the south side of the highway. How far off the highway?
It's just right there. You'll see it right away.
Says you'll see it right away.
Buried in the ditch.
Is it buried or?
It's not buried. It's
Just in the ditch itself?
It's just in the ditch.
Okay, south side of the highway across from that mailbox. Correct.
You're doing good, Edwin. You know what? This is not easy. I mean, you might be a little bit scared. We're going to hear what you have to say. We really, really want to. I'm thankful, and so is Sergeant Beckwith, that you know what the right thing to do is right now, and that's to help us locate her for her family, for the community, for us, for you, for your wife, all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm thankful to you. I want to say that right away, that you hear what this man has to say, and that you've got a heart inside of you. And I know, because I was in your house. I saw the Bible. I know you thumb through it a lot. I see that you've tithed for months consecutively. I know you have God in your heart. Okay, and that's just not a trick. That's eternal, right? You know that. But I'm not talking about this moment. I'm talking about the big picture. Okay, and so I appreciate your honesty.
So, what happened, man? What happened? Like the straight up, what happened?
So I was putting the signs up where there was an event going on at
It's a
school,
yeah.
college. It's cyclist event or whatever. You know, I was in a hurry because I want to get out of it. And I was gonna turn south on College Way on the D4 lot. So I was gonna turn south on the do not enter area there. And I didn't see her. She was wearing all black. So I was in a hurry, so it was my fault. And I wasn't expecting anybody, you know, at that time of night, so I just turned and I mean, I didn't hit her that hard. I just bumped her with the patrol car, bumped her with the front rack. And she fell down, and at first I thought, you know, first thing I was, oh, I killed her, you know, but I didn't hit her that hard. So I got off the car, and she was really drunk. And then she looks at me, and then she started screaming.
She started screaming,
Yeah.
or you did?
She did. So I panicked and I just grabbed her by the throat and told her, shut up, shut up, shut up. So she passed out. I put her on the back of the patrol car, drove her up the B12 lot, and then I was panicking. I didn't know what to do. She already seen me. She saw my face. So I opened the door, and that's when she came back. She started screaming again. So I grabbed the chokehold, and I was telling her, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. She was just struggling to scream. So I threw her down and I hit her with a rock on the head. after that, I dragged her body behind a tree there, and I hit her with another rock. And that's when I think she died, because I heard her breathing her last breath. And then with her body there, I went to the Zama gym. I tried to wash off everything, all the dirt from my glove. I had a stain on my shirt. I was wearing the bike patrol shirt. I had a red stain. I couldn't take that off, so I started washing my pants and my boots on the Mizama gym. I went into the men's restroom right in front of the main entrance of the south entrance of Mizama. Then after being there, I just walked towards the women's gym or shower, and I went into the shower and I started washing off all the dirt from my pants. And then I looked at the watch and it was like 1:50 or whatever, and my shift was almost over. And I know Adam Nieder was in the office, so I'm like, hey, I'm usually never late. I'm out of here right when my shift ends, so I better get there. So I got there like around 2:01 or something like that. I was full of dirt, and he wanted to talk to me about something. And I wasn't facing him because I saw this scratch in my face. And I was scared that he was going to see it, because I knew that you guys were going to investigate us. I knew that for a fact, because I'm not dealing with stupid people, right?
Yeah.
So I panicked, and I just let him talk, and I acted like I was doing something on the computer, and I was just saying, oh, yes, yes. And I tried telling him something, but I was so nervous that I don't think he was able to understand me, what I was saying. He goes, what? And I said it again, and he wasn't able to understand me. So at the end, I think he just left it like that. He didn't ask me any more questions. But I don't think he realized anything bad, I just think he probably thought I was tired or something. Because I told him, I'm tired, I want to go home. Then, when I was walking out, I'm like, okay, I need to get rid of her, because if they find her up in the Boy 12 lot, they're going to know it was one of us, and it's going to be me, because Adam was in the office, all night long, doing some paperwork. So I drove back up there, I put her in my car, I grabbed a trash can first from the Boyle Education Center, from the custodial room. I grabbed a trash can or a trash bag. I drove up the hill again and just put her head inside the bag, put her in the trunk of my car, and just drove out of there.
Your personal car?
Yeah.
Which car's that?
The Nissan. You guys haven't found that yet?
Yeah, we found it.
Okay.
But it's not fair for me to put words in your mouth, So I gotta ask. So what happened next?
So I drove her to a ditch by close to my parents' house, and she was kind of heavy, so I just grabbed her and pretty much ripped everything off her, like her clothes. I threw her in the ditch, and then I went back home, and I was like, okay, they gotta find her there pretty quick, so I gotta move her and put her somewhere else that they're not gonna be able to find her. So next day, actually it was the following night, while my wife was sleeping, I just got up without her noticing that I was, that I left, and I went and moved the body again.
To its location that you told us.
Location.
The first place where you put Kaylee,
I think it's...
is it near your parents? Like how close to your parents' house?
So the street, it's Hemlock.
Hemlock?
Hemlock, I think it is.
Helmholtz?
Helmholtz. Yes, Helmholtz and Ambler, right in the corner. There is a little, I don't know what that, I think it might be a little creek or a lake or something right there, so pretty close to that. So I just threw her body right there, and then I came back following the line and just dumped her. You know, and at this time I was feeling really bad, you know, because I've never killed anybody, and I feel really bad about her, about the girl. What you think of the certain guy? And I was feeling really bad about where I went to, because she's my everything. And I know that most likely I will die in prison, you know. And that's gonna be one of the things that I'm gonna take in my heart. Isn't it? And the regret of killing this girl. And I know this is being recorded, and apologize to the parents. To the dad, I know the dad has been looking for her non-stop. I apologize. She looked like a really nice girl, and she didn't deserve what I did to her. So, following day after I moved her body, the second time, or the first time, the second time I should say, I woke up with this thing in my heart, like heavy, you know, and I'm like, so I knew that from the moment I told my wife she's going to turn me in, because I know her. And she loves her job, and she loves what she's doing now, and I knew she was gonna do it, no matter how much she loves me. So I told her with that purpose. I told her, I killed this girl, I'm gonna walk out of here, I'm gonna drive out of here, you do your thing. She's like, why are you putting me in that spot? I'm like, because I know you're gonna do the right thing. I know you're not gonna be my accomplice, because you're not that type of woman. So she kept telling me, please don't leave, just turn yourself in. And I'm like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life in prison. Yeah, I don't want to get death penalty. I don't want that like that.
Did you have some of Kaylee's stuff at the house?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that, please?
Okay, so so I grabbed it from the patrol car and I put it in my car with the intention of getting rid of it, because I actually grabbed her phone from the purse with my bare hands. I didn't use any gloves, so I was scared that my fingerprints were going to be all over that purse. So I grabbed the purse and I put it in my car, because I'm like, well, I don't think there's fingerprints in her body, you know, but there's fingerprints on the purse, so I cannot leave the purse here. So I grabbed the purse, and when I was driving out of the campus on Portland Avenue, I threw the phone on the Chutes River. Is that the Chutes River? On the park?
Yes.
So I threw the phone in the river.
Which phone is that?
Her phone.
Where was it?
It was in her purse.
Why
Yeah.
did you throw it in the river?
Because they were gonna find it. You know, if I throw it somewhere else. And I mean, I knew sooner or later I was gonna get caught. And you know for a fact. You know, and
You was trying to buy some time?
I was trying to buy some time so I can say bye to my family, I guess.
Did you talk to your family after this?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Not so good. My grandpa told me that I screwed up my life. My mom and dad couldn't believe it, or my stepdad, I should say. He's like my dad. Couldn't believe it. You know, they were very concerned about me. My wife just kept telling me to stop what you're doing, turn yourself in, where you at.
So a couple things you need to understand, and we're finally getting to the real problem here. We really are. Is you knew she was never getting out the car the moment you shut that door. Well, let me finish. You need to let me finish, right? Because I know this, okay? Because you said we were hookers. She's like, no. Immediately you go to give me your purse and your phone.
Well, I knew she wasn't gonna get out.
She wasn't gonna survive that encounter, was she?
No, it
Because
was.
you can't rape her and let her live, can you?
And she can't make a phone call if you have it.
I wasn't gonna rape her.
Well, you can't let her live.
Edwin, we're missing something here, man.
Look, yeah, I know what you guys are thinking, and it makes perfect sense. It does.
Because
Why would you
I know
ask?
where you got-
Why would you ask for her purse? What was in your head that made you want her purse?
Because, you know,
Just in case she had a gun, she could defend
was-
herself.
She was gonna use her phone.
to call 911, call for help.
So, but listen to this. According to your story, this is where it does not make sense. If your intent isn't already there to do some kind of harm or some kind of evil to her, some friggin' evil that's there, bro. It's there. You just gotta face it down, man. You can't cower away from it. You face that damn thing down right now. If you know the only way, if you don't have intent in her head, your thought is, I gotta keep that phone away from her because she's gonna call from help before anything bad's even happened. You've already made a decision. Am I right or am I wrong? Help me.
So, I made the decision at that time to silence her.
to kill her.
I-
Let's be real. When you say
Yeah.
silence her, you mean kill her. Is that correct? Okay.
Because
When did you make that decision?
when she started screaming, because she had seen my face.
But you already grabbed her phone. You already kept her away from making a call for help or contacting someone. So you're already preserving yourself. So I'm thinking it's before, when you ask for the purse, I think you already know in your head, I'm going to silence her. I'm going to kill her. Why else would you ask?
So, when she gave me her, like, she had her phone, because I knew her phone was back there. Like, it just clicked on my head, and I put her purse back there, her phone is in there, you know. So I told her, give me the purse. So then
Tell me
she-
exactly how you said, give me your purse. Say it exactly how you said it.
Okay, so I went, give me your fucking purse.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Okay.
So she hands over the purse, and I'm like, your phone is not in here. And she goes, yes, it is. So I start digging in the purse with this hand, and I find the phone, and it's there. So, and you know, very relieved. But at this time, she's struggling with the door, and I'm telling her, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
You know why you felt relieved when you found that phone? You know why? Tell me why you felt
She
relieved.
wasn't calling her help
And she was never gonna get away.
because she had seen my face already.
You just already seen her face, and you already knew what you were gonna do.
No.
You were gonna silence her. You already told us that.
Well, yeah, but
Why else would you grab her phone?
because from the moment, that's when I knew that she wasn't a hooker. You know,
And she's gonna tell. She's gonna say something.
if I let her out of the car, she's gonna go say, hey, you know, security guard raped me or something.
Do you have dominion over a woman?
Dominion?
Mm-hmm. Dominant. Is there anything about her life that means less than yours?
No.
Okay.
But you told us earlier when you were trying to carjack people in Salem, you wanted a woman who was weaker,
Weaker woman, because I knew a guy was gonna fight me and I didn't want to kill anybody.
right? So you have dominion.
I don't
What
necessarily.
I guess what I'm getting at with that question is that at some point or another, something as minor as an offensive comment, are you a hooker? I mean, honestly, what we've approached there is you possibly losing your job for offending somebody. Okay, people are offended every day. People lose their job for offending people every day. That all of a sudden became more important than the life of a human being that you say is
Because
equal.
I think she honestly thought that I was gonna do something.
You were, man. Edwin, that's
Because-
the problem. Right now, you were. You absolutely
At first I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't.
Well,
So,
sir.
let me back up. Let's just settle this right now. When you saw that girl and you picked her up, were your intentions to help her because you're a security guard on the campus and people look up to you? Was your intent to find some way to help her? Or was your intent to find a way to hurt her, either by paying for sex or taking sex? And when things went south, you knew you had to kill her because now the person she looks to for safety and security wants something from her that she doesn't want to give him.
So when I picked her up, because usually when we help someone, we call her on the radio.
Did you call her on the radio?
No, because I thought she was over. And I just wanted.
That's why I didn't call her on the radio.
That's why I didn't call her on the radio. And when I realized she wasn't a hooker, I felt discovered. Oh, crap. Now she's gonna go tell the whole world that I was looking for sex.
Oh, wow, how weird would that be for a dude to be looking for sex? See what I'm saying? And that's not that bad.
Dudes
right?
look for sex.
Dudes look for sex.
Well, yeah, but not a security guard that is supposed to protect.
Well,
I think you just said it, man.
Another random dude walking the street.
So were we lucky in the fact that the first time you can't control your urge to have sex with a beautiful woman, that we catch you and you give up and we find you, et cetera, et cetera? I don't believe so. I believe there's been instances in the past that maybe you were close, something that was happening, well, maybe something's gonna happen here, and you backed away, whatever. Has there ever been a time like that?
and what he means by take it into consideration is this, man. Bluntly, you've betrayed that trust. Okay? The sound that you heard after the strike of the first rock, before you hit her with the second, is agonal breathing, and you know this. It's the sound of life leaving her body. It's the sound of the life God breathed into her, leaving her, and her life being no more, going away, being done. It's the sound of everyone loving her, mourning. It's the sound of her blood crying out from the friggin' earth. Right? You know this. It's Cain and Abel. No. No. You know what it is? You need to hear it though. Okay? I respect you enough, Edwin, at this point, that I've asked you for detail, and now I'm going to give you my own. Okay? Those are the cold, hard facts. Does God still love you? Will He forgive you? Will He bring you back into His heart? Will He? Questions you have to answer for yourself. But the truth of the matter is that her blood cries out, man. That her life is gone. It will never be replaced. The truth of the fact is this. What you mistook for a hooker was an absolute angel. Was the apple of her mom and dad's eye. Was the breath that they breathed, that they spent and cultivated all their life raising and growing. And she is gone forever with your semen all over her. That's the truth, man. Okay? It's brutal. It's hard to say. It's hard to sit in here. But you got to face it before you can look your God in the eye and ask for that forgiveness and be able to receive it. That's the heart I want to see in that letter. Not graphic depictions, but the heart of a man broken, right? That you look and you can see what you've done. And you can begin to rebuild. You have love, mercy, compassion, right? Vastly different than rage, even than fear, fight or flight, right? Evil. vastly different. Am I right? You've known some love in your heart, right? You love
And
things.
This is why I feel like this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because evil was not for me.
Right.
Somehow got a hold of me.
I'm wondering, for me, for the community, for the people struggling to try to understand, this doesn't grow to this unless it's cultivated, right? Somewhat, normally, in my experience, I don't see evil manifest.
From one day to the next.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I actually read books.
I
about
see it.
it.
I see it watered. I see it grow. I see it cultivated, and then I see it manifest into real darkness, right? That affects a lot of other people inside you, and there's nobody else in there, right? There's nobody else in there. I can only guess, but there had to be some kind of idea or clue. Or let me rephrase that. Was there some kind of idea or clue inside of you that grew with some rage? Maybe that embraced that. Maybe that believed that you were entitled to that. Therefore, it manifested the way it did. Anything in there that you can help me out with to help other people understand, help the people around us that we report to, that we talk to, the community at large understand.
So I think all throughout my life I have struggled with somehow the urge to kill. But what has helped me not develop that, in a sense, was when I married my wife. It kind of dissipated because I had something to look forward to. Before that, I didn't have nothing to look forward to.
Is this addressed to Dad?
Yeah, the last one is for CLCC.
Okay. I think it would play pretty well on recording if we read this out loud. It might show some of your emotion. Might show.
Want me to read it?
I would love you to read it. Thank you, sir.
I've been trying to ask Kaylee for forgiveness, but I don't think her soul hears my crying because God doesn't allow the devil to talk to angels. However, I know Kaylee hears you, and if you find it within your heart, please ask her to forgive me. Please, I beg you. Please. I know that I will spend the rest of my life asking God to forgive me, but I don't think He will. Sir, this is directed to her dad. I am not sure what your name is, but I know for a fact that you loved your daughter. I read something that you were desperately looking for her, and that touched the little heart I have within me. I say a little heart, a little bit, because a man like me don't have a heart. Please forgive me, Spirit. Please forgive me, and please ask your wife to forgive me too. I fail you, I fail my community, I fail everyone, including my family. I am really sorry, I beg you. A man like me doesn't deserve the job I had, and I will never have it again. The COCC, no one has to pay for my evil doing. Every officer on the campus are great men and women. I am sorry to my community. I am sorry because I fail you. I am sorry for wearing the badge. I am sorry for ever being part of CPS. I ask the college and community to forgive me. I am sorry, Jim Bennett. I fail you. May Kaylee Sawyer rest in peace now.
In 2018, Edwin Lara was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility for parole for what he did to Kaylee Sawyer. In 2019, Lara was given a federal life sentence for terrorizing the 19-year-old woman for almost 10 hours by carjacking her at gunpoint in Salem and forcing her to accompany him to California.